don't know, I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults, and let's go ahead and get it. Um, as we drive, whether you're beginning, middle, or older driver, you always have to be concerned about driving conditions, things that are in front of you, beside you, near you. The risk and chance of death is always high as we go through our driving. It takes about 10 years to really learn how to drive and be consistent with speed control, driving in fog, driving in rain, driving at night, just to name a few. Everyone has a different environmental situation they need to drive in. So this discussion will apply to all age groups. And if you have questions, you can always leave some in the comments. 1 in 11 drivers will, and this is for young drivers, 1 in 11 young drivers before their 17th birthday will have a serious crash. So what does this mean? If you are an older sister or brother, dad, uncle, auntie, you need to be driving with your niece or nephew. If the weather's looking a little weird, rain, fog, snow, black ice, ride with them. Encourage them, hey, I want to come ride with you. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go through McDonald's, because that's going to build a strong relationship. I'm good. How are you doing today? We're talking about risk awareness. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in. 1 in 8 young drivers will crash in the first 3 years of driving. So what do we need to do as a community? What do I need to do as a driver's ed instructor? Is really emphasize solid teaching, good observation skills, great speed control, reducing distractions in the car. Those things are always important, and they're even more important today. Next, for 16 to 17-year-olds, the risk is at an all-time high. People are under the influence because we have different states that have passed marijuana laws, so people are dealing with that. We have people who are driving very aggressive. We call them Kens or Karens. So this means good. I hope that you're doing well with driving. Hopefully I can give you some insight and help you, and I'm always here to help, and make sure in the end you look at all my content, but I'm here to help you. Research indicates that errors and inexperience. It doesn't matter if you're 15, 20, 25, 30, 45, 50. You have to learn your environment. You got to learn your neighborhood. The driving dangers in neighborhoods. You have little kids. You have people backing up. You have people speeding through the neighborhood. They disregard stop signs. So you as a driver, you have to drive at a reduced speed. You've got to control your awareness, and you really have to look around before you get to intersections. If you look while you're there at the intersection, it's too late. A car could come by, a kid could come by. People are cutting through the neighborhoods to get to the back of the cul-de-sac. So there's a lot of things going on, and most serious accidents happen 25 miles or less from your neighborhood because people get relaxed, they take off their seatbelt, they start driving with one hand, they lay back, they're on the phone. So you have to be extra diligent in being that safe driver, okay? Let's continue. The largest single category of errors is visual search. I'm in the driver's education transportation industry. Drivers that I teach and young drivers just don't look around. If you're making a right turn, you have to look left, right, left, and then you turn hand over hand and accelerate. There's more than one way to turn the wheel. We're here in North America. There are multiple ways. There's hand to hand, where you're turning and putting your hands together. There's hand over hand. There is one hand. There are multiple ways to turn the wheel. We know there's an airbag in the middle, 9 and 3, 10 and 2. Recently, AAA said 7 and 5. It just depends on how. I have very long arms, so it depends on your body type. How do your parents drive? What did your driver's education instructor stress to you? All of these things, and what are you comfortable with? On a long drive, 8 and 4 could be good. 7 and 5 could be good. You will get fatigued after a while. So it really depends on what you learned, okay? Next, approximately 20,000, and 1 in every 9, 16 to 17-year-olds will be involved in a crash in their first year. We want you to be crash safe. You need to really observe things in your environment, having good speed control, leave early, make sure your car's properly warmed up, your window is clean, maybe put fuel in your vehicle before, because most likely a large majority of you who are looking at this content, some of you are in high school or early college. Some of you are in your 30s and 40s. Some of you are retired and you enjoyed looking at this driver's ed content. So 14 and a half, 30 hours. It depends on the state that you're in. Example, in the state I'm in, you have to be 14.9. Then you enroll in a driver's education program, a state certified driver's education program. It's 24 hours of class. After 24 hours of class, you need 6 hours of driving and then 4 hours of observing someone. Then you take a knowledge test, 80 questions. After you take the test is collected, it is sent to the state, and then within 10 to 12 days, a digital certificate will be emailed to you. Then your parent or caregiver will take you to Secretary of State. You get your birth certificate, you take an eye examination, then you start driving with someone 21 years old or older. It varies. New Jersey has different rules. Some have to be 15, some have to be 16. So you really have to look into your DMV laws, but that's kind of a general example. Most schools, most states have a graduated license where you have to enroll in a program, but a lot of teens are waiting till they turn 18. And that's a whole nother situation altogether because they don't have that practical experience of driving with someone. And that's really important. 6 hours of driving, I don't know, just drive. You need to call the DMV or go there. And there's some pamphlets usually in the lobby. And that will maybe give you the answer, or you could call. They usually do have the answer. Most DMV offices, they have 7 people, 6 people working. You might see up to 8 areas where you can go in. But most of them, and I'm only speaking from my location, most of them, they're at about 80% capacity with the employees. They open at 9 o'clock. You got your senior citizens coming in to renew their license. You have young people like yourself who are ready to get your level 1 permit, drive. And then if you're 16 and a half, you have your 50 hours, then you're going to get your segment 2. And then if you're 16 and a half and 50 hours, then you go take your road test. So that's kind of the logistics of it. But what I find, a lot of young people don't have someone who has a car, right? Your mom and dad works, they're tired, they don't really want to drive you. Maybe you need to have a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, or maybe a neighbor who's over 21, and then you can log your hours. There's also an app called Road Ready. This automatically logs your hours. You got to put in your name, email, and once you get in the car, you hit start. My daughter used that, but also you can document your hours on a sheet of paper. A lot of driving schools are going toward digital. They're trying to get rid of all paper, but it's a slow process. And eventually, I could see the DMV going to a online driver's education test, which would be great because I have to collect all the papers, drop them off at the main office. They get processed. I know. Here's what I will say to you about putting off driving. Number one, it's very expensive, right? Where I'm from is 500, 550, and that's segment 1. And then number 2, segment 2 is about $50, $60, $40. You got to be able to get to driver's ed either after school. Most of you probably take the bus. So what I'm saying is there are barriers. If you're 16, try to get enrolled to a driver's education program if you can. Work a deal with your parents. Hey, mom and dad, I'll really keep up my grades. I'll clean the house. I'll do whatever I need to do. Please enroll me in driver's education, right? You're at their mercy. And if they say yes, then you got to keep your promise, keep up your grades. Then they'll enroll you in. Altogether, it takes about 3 months. Get that driving, get segment 1 done, and then you'll come back for segment 2. You have to have minimum of 30 hours of driving. And again, remember, it varies from state to state. You have to have minimum of 30 hours of driving. Then from there, you're able to apply for segment 2. hour away. 550 public one is always full year round. I know. You got to make a commitment because the older you get, you're going to want a job. You have to have a job. Gas is very expensive. We were talking about that with my student yesterday. You put in $20, that gets you like a fourth of a tank, almost half. You're feeling good. You go to your friend's house, you go to get something to eat, you hang out, you take a few friends home, you're at the fourth of a tank. So you have to have a job because mom and dad are not going to keep handing you money. So that's where that responsibility piece comes in. And you just have to see, I would Google available driver's ed schools in your area, see how much they cost, and maybe they can work a payment deal. Some driver's ed schools work payment deals. I've been with some. You put down $100, halfway through you put down another 100. Maybe that can work. Maybe your mom and dad will be willing to spot you that first amount, and then you grind, you work hard, you babysit, you cut grass, you do what you do to get that license. Because the longer you sit at home, I don't want to drive. People are driving crazy. I just saw an accident. You have to get into that process and get it done because if you're 18 or 19, you're done with high school, you're getting ready to go to community college or you're going away to school, no one's going to want to come pick you up. No one's going to want to, oh man, I got to go pick them up and you don't have a job and gas is like $5 a gallon, right? Oh, the insurance. Oh, if grandma's willing, you better be loving on grandma. Real talk. If grandma's willing to help you, then grandma, I would do whatever you need, right? Grandmas love the grandkids and grandpas, right? I remember my grandmother, she would definitely help me. So if grandma's willing to help you, and remember, don't let your family feel like hey, you're taking advantage of grandma, you're using her. No, grandma says because you're the grandbaby. Grandma's retired. I want to help you. Okay, grandma, I want to enroll in driver's ed. This is how much it is. Can you help me? Sure, baby. Okay, grandma will help you. Then you got to get your birth certificate. First of all, you got to find out where your birth certificate is. This is real talk. Your birth certificate is hidden somewhere in your house. Your parents put it in a jar, in a briefcase, in a folder, because when you're born, they are happy our baby's born. They sign it. Then the birth certificate is put away. The next time is 14 years from now, 15 years from now, 16 years from now. So you got to locate that birth certificate. You won't be able to enroll unless you have that legal document. If you don't have it, then you're going to have to get your school ID, state ID, get all these things, and then you're going to have to go to a special place. All right. Unfortunately, I don't have my mom and dad. It's just been my grandma willing to do anything, just having a little time since I'm okay. So locate those documents. I've driven homeschool students before. Locate those documents. It takes time. You can't get frustrated at the process. I've been there before. I've misplaced my license. I know it sucks. You got to go to Secretary of State. You got to wait in line. Could be a half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour, right? Then you get up there. Hey, I need this. I need this document. Okay, provide this information. You get your documents. So locate those documents. And then go from there. Really, really good questions. And this is real. That can be a hurdle. Identify and explain possible errors in inexperience. Beginning drivers, it's hard for me to have register online, unfortunately. So I don't know where you're located, but and you can put that in, but what I will say is, you need to maybe go to the DMV. Hey, here's my situation. I want to go and sign up for driving. I can't locate my birth certificate. Where do I need to go? The Department of Legal Records. You're going to have to get a legal copy of your birth certificate. It has to have that seal of approval because people are falsifying documents all the time. Next, how far-reaching is the impact of young drivers being killed in a crash? It impacts everyone. Your teachers, your parents, your community, the doctor and nurse who are trying to save your life, then the legislative people in North Carolina, in Texas, in Florida, in Michigan, they're writing laws for future proofing and helping save the life of teens because we're losing a lot of young drivers to distractions, to under the influence of alcohol. So it's really important that we protect our national treasures, and that's you. All of you that I'm talking to are our national treasures. I'm blessed to help students and adults learn how to drive. Okay? If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. If this is bringing you value, look at my content. If this is bringing you real value, subscribe to my content. Let's continue. What about the impact of drivers or passengers? The more passengers you have in the car, the more likely you are to crash. You got to reduce the number of people in your car. We're all are social. We love our friends in the car, but when you're first starting to learn how to drive, you don't need all those people in there because they're going to distract you. Okay? Approximately 127 16, 17-year-olds survived in a fatal crash. They hit a pedestrian. So pedestrians are the most vulnerable. And more people are walking today. They're on scooters. They are unaware. People don't have transportation to get to work. So it's very serious. So if you have one lapse in judgment, not paying attention, you go off the road, you have blood on your hands, you've hit someone. And don't leave the scene of an accident. And a lot of motorists are uninsured. So that's another situation. Insurance is expensive, right? But if you have a source, a grandmother, an uncle, an auntie who maybe has an extra car, they may be willing to help you with setting up driver's education. And it's extremely expensive when you get out there to that situation because you have to do the best that you can to be super successful. A serious crash is defined as a fatality, an injury. I'm not talking about someone hit your door where you killed someone unintentionally, manslaughter. And that stays on your record forever. So me, because I'm in the driver's education industry, I'm really trying to help people be safe, prepare them for 16, 17, 18, 19. We talk about school, getting a job. Because eventually your parents love you, but they're not going to keep putting gas in your car and paying for your insurance. You got to know how to take care of your vehicle. So those things are really important. If you're getting value from this, give me a thumbs up. That's really important. Please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to talk about some other information and help you. Got other questions, put them in. The first questions I had, I'm 15 or 16. Do you have any recommendations on practicing? I'm worried about driver's ed. The practice, okay, depends on your state. Practice in parking lots, practice in neighborhoods. It varies from state to state. After about a week of driving, some states give a pink permit. This is where you and your caregiver, your guardian, you can practice. I think in the beginning, parents and kids are really excited, and hopefully you have a good experience that first or second drive. Some kids are just not mature enough for driving. Some adults are not mature enough because maybe they had a big family, mom and dad, uncle, auntie, older brother, sister took them around. They're 17 and a half, 18. Now it's their time to get the license. If you're that 16 and a half, you need to go ahead and get in driver's ed. If you're 17, almost turning 18, you need to look at how close am I to 18. I had one student, he was 18. He paid for his own driver's ed class. I just want to say thank you. If you have comments, leave them for me, and then we'll go from there. I do have a Google number that I will put in the comments, and then you can call and interact with me. I just want to say thank you. Bye.